Hey, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a flyer for your upcoming church event. Whether you have a guest speaker coming in to teach at your church, or you have a big event going on that you want to invite the community to, all of these practices are going to be able to work for any kind of those events. So let's dive right into it. As you can see right here, I already have something built out for us, and I'm going to show you how to create this graphic in particular. So if you want, you can open up Canva with me. We can dive right into it, and I'm going to show you how to create this from scratch. And remember, these practices are not just to teach you how to make a quick graphic, but to teach you the skills needed to help start redeeming your time so you can get back to what's actually important, and that's being with people. As you can see, this is a flyer for a vision night, and I just used an image of myself as a stand-in, so that way I didn't have to go ask permission for anybody to use their picture, but it's got a basic name of the event, it's got the location, and it's got the time and the date. So this is a really fun, modern looking graphic, and I'm going to show you how I created it from scratch. So the first thing that I started with was actually just the text. So what I'm going to do is actually add a page here. So I want to go over here to a text box, and we're going to say that the text is like the main thing. It's what's going to be what's communicating the event that's going on. And for us, this event is called Vision Night. So if I go ahead and put the text box here on the screen, and I'm going to grab this text right here. I think it's pronounced Bernaru condensed. So we're going to say Vision Night. This is normally where somebody would begin their process of making a graphic. So they might put the whole title in here and say Vision Night. Well, that's also where I started, but instead of putting it into one text box in itself, I decided to move forward and try to find a font that had a matching style but different characteristics to it. So I actually want to go in here and erase the word night. We're going to create another text box and put the word night. This font in itself has another style of font called ultra condensed. And so basically what it's doing is it's taking the font and it's actually like squishing it down like this. That's what the ultra condensed is for. And so as you can see, it is like really squished in. I can take it now and size it up to where it's got that cool little stretch effect that we're getting up here. The word vision is obviously covering up the majority of the top of the screen. So we're actually going to size that up to cover up the top here. Perfect. And then we're going to take the word night and do the same thing. Really size it up big to where it stretches to the width of the N and the V. Really trying to line them up together like that. As you can see, it gets that really cool effect where it looks like the words are stretching, but actually it's just the type of font that we're using here. The next thing I want to do is really just give it a background. And so in this image, I actually used a picture of our sanctuary. You can see the choirs in the background singing. But like I said, we're building this from scratch. So let's just go in here and try to find a generic image in our elements. So let's say we look up the word sanctuary. As you can see, there are actually plenty of images of different sanctuaries that you could pull from, but we're really looking for a church sanctuary. And it doesn't have to be your church. I just used ours because it's, I had a decent picture of it, but you could really go for something like really epic looking and grab like one of these older like cathedrals. So let's grab this one. I actually like this one a lot. We're gonna size it up to be the same size as the page. Now I want to take it to the back. And then what we did here, as you can see, is we actually made it grayscale. So I'm going to go here, go to edit, go to my filters. We're actually going to pick one of these grayscale filters, and just at this point, it's really a taste. I really like the one that was a little bit more washed out. So something like this. Yeah, we'll go with the film filter that's in grayscale. So this really gives us a great background to work with. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to blur it. So we'll go to edit, we'll go down here to effects and go to blur, whole image, turn the intensity up to where it gets right about here. That's a good start. Hey, real quick, I want to take a second to let you know about something that's going to be happening at the very beginning of the year. I am dropping my very first masterclass on how to do communications in a church setting in a way that redeems your time. You'll be getting a deep dive into my brain with multiple systems and processes on how I redeem my time during the week, so that way I can be a better steward of the time that I have, or the little time that we all have. I know that you got into ministry not to do admin, not to sit behind a screen. I believe that we are made for people, not pixels. With this masterclass, you are going to be able to take some of these practices and build off of them, so that way you can begin redeeming your time as well. It's going to be so simple for you to get access to it. It's going to be here on this YouTube channel, so you don't have to give me an email address or anything like that. All you have to do is hit subscribe on this channel and turn on the bell notifications, because it will notify you the moment that video goes live. You can get there other ways, but this is going to be the fastest way you can get the content. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. It's coming out at the beginning of the year, and I want you to start off 2026 on the right foot. Now, let's get back to the content. As you can see, the text is sharper than the background, so it gives it some depth, but it's really hard to see the actual text here. That's why I wanted to go with something else really bright and modern looking. So we'll actually take this green color, and I'm going to grab these two text boxes. We're going to go up here to text color, and I'm actually going to grab this color here, which is the one that we used. And now we've got this really nice pop, just like what's going on here. And as I can see now that I'm looking at the background up there, it actually was a little bit darker. So let's grab this background and go with maybe a little bit darker. There we go. That's a little bit better. So we got a good start. The next thing that we want to do is put the information for the event. And so for here, we're going to grab another text box, and we're going to use the regular size text here, and we're going to say that the vision night is in the worship center. I want to justify it to the right, so I can use this button here. It'll go right, center, or left is what I want to do. I want to do left. And then I actually want to grab these advanced settings, and we can go to line spacing, and we can bring these words closer together, so that way the gap isn't as big, and it kind of covers the same space that we're looking at up here. You see how small that gap is? Kind of do the same here. And then I'll actually move this over to here. And then I'm going to copy this box, paste it, and we're going to say that it's happening on 1/30/26 at 7 p.m. And for this one, I want to justify it to the right. Perfect. Now we have Vision Night, Worship Center, January 30th, 2026 at 7 p.m. And now we need some subject matter. And so what I suggest doing is, because your pastor is going to be the person that is pitching this vision for the church for the next year, I would suggest using a picture of your pastor. I'm just going to use this picture of myself to pretend like I am the pastor of said church. And we're going to use the background remover here. And that's going to remove the background. We're going to size the picture up to take up a pretty decent size of the image here. So it's a great start here. And then I also want to go here and go to edit, go to my filters again, and look through some of these grayscales to see if there's anything that pops on top of this to really make this to where the only color that's happening on this graphic is the text itself. Everything else, you can see the background, you can see the subject in the foreground, because they're obviously a different color than the words, but the words are really popping because that's where the main information is. So you just kind of filter through these until you find one you like. I actually like this newspaper one. And so we'll take a look at it here. It's a great start, but it's missing texture. And so as you can see, if I scroll to this one, you can start to see some of this texture. You see, it looks like paper, like dust is on something, some lens flares over here. This is really easy to do. All you have to do is go to your elements section and look up the word texture. And what it's going to do is you want to look at textures in the graphics section. You can use photos, but I would suggest using the graphics section, because there's going to be some negative space, so that way it doesn't take up the whole entire image whenever you're trying to use your transparency. And at this point, it really is just a taste, trying to figure out what you want to see happen in your image. And so for me, for example, I might grab something like this one. As you can see, it brings some nice texture to the image. It'll allow me to put it on the whole image here itself, stretch it to where it fits, and now we've got a really cool effect that's happening on this graphic in itself. And then you can go into your transparency and turn it up or down to really add to taste. And so that brings some dirt, some grit, some texture to the image, but I really want to try to get these lens flares as well. So what I might do is go into here and look for some lens flares under textures, and I see this one right here. So we can actually grab this, size it to the screen here. Perfect. And then I want to take it backwards to where it's behind the word themselves. Great. That's a Huge start. And then you can actually grab those lens flares and go to the transparency and make them pop however you want. And I can actually change the color of the lens flares to maybe contrast with the green a little bit better. So we could do something like an orange color. We could go blue. That brings a really fun look to it, maybe like light blue. That's really fun there. Maybe turn the transparency back up a little bit. And then the last thing I would do is probably actually grab the background and go to my edit page, go to adjust, and go to the vignette. Actually turn the vignette up to really darken the edges. So extreme would look like this. The opposite direction would get really white, which is also a really neat look. But I think I want to go with the darker look like this. So as you can see, we have a great start for an image. I'm actually going to go to the picture of the communicator and go to adjust and maybe turn the brightness up just a tad bit to make them pop. Perfect. And as you can see, this is an incredible graphic that you can use right now to advertise for something that might be coming up in your church. And I'm actually going to give you this file itself so you can use it as a starting point to build from. If you decided not to build with me during this video, you can actually just follow the link in the description below and it'll actually take you to this Canva document itself so you can start building from it. And it's as easy as that. Don't be afraid to try different typefaces, different backgrounds, different subjects, colors, whatever it is. I just encourage you to get your hands dirty. Do exactly what I did in this video, because the more that you practice this, the faster you're going to get at creating graphics from scratch. And that will give you your time back, because ultimately that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to redeem our time so we can get back to doing what's really important, and that's being with people. So if this video brought you value, I encourage you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I've got more videos like this coming out every single week, and it's all here just to help you redeem your time. And if you're looking for more information on like how to get started using Canva in your ministry or other tools like AI to help you really begin redeeming your time, go ahead and check out this video right here where I take a deep dive into some of those systems, and I promise you it's going to be able to help you out today. I'll see you guys over there.